Hello, welcome to the Mothering by Design podcast. I'm Chrissy, I'm your host, and thank you so much for being here. I've come into the studio, and today here in Australia, where we are, it's midday on a Sunday, and spent the morning with my beautiful boy, pretty much attached to me, the mamas know, and my hubby. My daughter is spending some time with my mother-in-law, which is nice. So we kind of had this little bit of a different vibe in our house today. And I was just talking to my husband about the things that I was feeling inspired by and what I wanted to share. And because my podcast is very much around obviously human design, and especially around human design in the lens of parenting, especially for mothers, for women. And helping to support mothers, because that's what I truly feel the pull towards at this time in my life. And of course, everything that I speak to is, and especially the way I'm designed, is like a bit of a reflection point on my own experience of life. And it is very much around me speaking to my lived experience often and bringing that through in a way that will hopefully be supportive for others and inspiring. And that's a big part of my human design is I've come here to kind of inspire others, not kind of, but to kind of, I keep saying kind of, to inspire others to live in a way that they're actually living and not get stuck in the humdrum fake importance of like our task list and things like that, but to truly live the life that they came here to live. And that's why I believe human design found me when it did. So what I'm saying is that recently I've had like all these different things come through. Of course, my Mothering by Design course that I have been putting out in the world this last month or so. It feels like it's landed quickly, and then I've been putting it out there quickly in true manifesting generator style. And I have some beautiful mothers in that program right now. And also I've had lots of other interesting things coming into my own path and kind of landing in my lap, of course, in divine timing, as I always believe things are. And a lot of that is around subconscious, our subconscious mind, and our beliefs and our habits, our patterns. And to put it even more in like a broad sense, our energetic being and like what is reflected back to us, which is our reality. And I started following not too long ago a neuroscientist somehow and been so inspired and gone very quickly down a rabbit hole around the things she speaks to, which is also in the same lens of everything that's been kind of coming into my world this last, I don't know, however many months, around that subconscious work and the fact that we actually can rewire our own subconscious, our own beliefs, maybe things that we were told when we were little, things that we heard that became our inner voice, our self-talk, and our beliefs that actually maybe weren't ours in the first place, but we took them on because it was like what we heard around us. Or things that we've been telling ourselves as we've started to go through life and started to create reality from those things, even if they're the things that we don't actually want to be telling ourselves anymore. And so all this like the neuroscientist stuff, the subconscious work, and all of it like kind of comes into play together and very much in the same, I think, on the same page. Sometimes a little bit different language, if you will, and then I think it just I'm finding it's tying in so powerfully and beautifully with all that I'm teaching about human design and all that I'm learning about human design through my own experiment in my life. And when they come together, it's like this really powerful co-creation of a new way of living and a new way of energetically being in the world. And then for me, I'm noticing it's like, it's shifting things, and it's shifting things in a really positive way around the way that my energy is being put out into the world, and then what's coming back to me because of that. Okay. So I better backtrack a little bit. So what I wanted to do, and I was talking to my husband about this, I was like, I think I want to share in a different way in my podcast today. Not so much around like any foundational aspect of human design, which I have been doing. And if you haven't listened to my other episodes, maybe go back and do that as well if you can. And if you're curious about human design, I have a whole podcast episode on like how it changed my life and how it found me and la la. La. And then there's also like things about some foundational aspects of the design of human design. So there's all that. But today I thought we'd kind of take it on a different trail, and we'd like ride down this trail of what it means to, when I say to you, your resonance creates your reality. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. We're going to, not kind of, that's my true, my gut is saying, let's talk about this more. Let's put this out into the world more. Because not only just to start a conversation, but also to, like, I feel like these are the things that we need to learn when we're quite young. Like, I wish I would have known this 20 years ago. I wish I would have known this a long time ago. I wish someone would have talked to me about this. And because it's so powerful. But then I also was saying to someone the other day about maybe I wouldn't have been ready, right? I wouldn't have been ready. But I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean I'm going to rewire my mind? Or what do you mean I'm going to um, change my life just by like my energy changing? Like unless someone's kind of open to it, it can sound maybe a little bit too woo-woo, but actually there's just so much science behind it that we know it's not just like woo-woo and, made up stuff. But what also inspired me to speak to this on my podcast today is that I've had recently, not just one, but multiple women reach out to me. And then there's even some women in my course right now. And in our live Q&A, it kind of came up around this idea of where they are right now and then where they can see that they want to go. And even though, one woman was saying, I'm doing all this stuff, I'm doing the work, and I'm starting to learn my design more and la, la, la. But she was like, what do I do to get past some of these blocks? Isn't that the big question? What do I do to get from here to here? So this is, I guess, a bit of a call out to any woman or any women who feel the gap between where they are and where they want to be, who see the dreams and the immense possibility that is there, or can feel it. Sometimes we can't see it, but right, because our minds are too limiting, but we feel it. But you still feel this fear, right? This is what we're going to dive into today. So in regards to resonance, what do I mean when what do you think of when I say resonance, or what does that mean to you? Because I'll share what it means from my point of view. So it's more of like our vibration, the resonance of yourself, the thoughts, emotions, energy. It's like because we all emit frequency, right? So we're energetic beings. We have to emit frequency. It's this frequency that you emit. And then what I feel happens is the universe is mirroring it back. So when you think about that, okay, so if there's things going on in my life right now, if my reality is not matching the dream life that I know that I want, we know that we've just got some inner work and some inner like shifting of that inner state inside of us so that we can see the outer world realign. And we know that like, I think most of us would understand that like our emotions, our repetition, our self-talk, our habits, it actually like all of that rewires neural pathways, right? This is true science. And so what can we can we grasp this idea at least, even if it's just a little bit for you today, if some of this is new and you're like, this sounds weird, that you actually hold this innate power to shift yourself, which then will, over time, maybe not overnight, but sometimes overnight, but over time, in a matter of days, weeks, months, really shift your outer world. But it comes from the inner world, right? First, it's that's where we have to start. So some of the things that have been coming up around this for me, because I'm realizing, in some of my areas of my life where I can feel that my resonance isn't at its highest self, right? It's not at its highest vibration because the reality that I'm seeing isn't matching what I know I want. So it's about probably matching my resonance, right? Is what I'm trying to say. And so some of the things that I've been diving into around this are what it means around our nervous system and being safe. So this like safety and the nervous system and being regulated in our nervous system. And how important is this as mothers too? How important is this as the mother, as the thermostat of the family, to have that ability to be able to regulate your own nervous system. And let's just say this too. I want to say it's not about being calm all the time. Right? It's not always about being calm all the time. Like as a human, as a woman who's cyclical, by the way, you're allowed to, have other emotions come up. You're allowed to feel anger. You're allowed to feel sadness. You're allowed to express your emotions. And inside of that, though, are we able to, as women, are we able to come back to a regulated nervous system in not too long of a time period? Like, it shouldn't take us days to regulate. It's like we want to be able to regulate within moments after having something go on. That's what I would be looking at. Can I regulate myself? And maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe after, not having practiced, it might take days to sort out how to do that. And what does that look like for you? But hopefully the more that you're aware of this, and the more that you kind of tune into your practices for your nervous system, it doesn't have to take you days. So something we can ask ourselves is, because when we're regulated, what I'm trying to get at is when I have a regulated nervous system, I feel safe. It feels safe to expand. Right? It feels safe to expand. So recently I've been sharing a lot more online. I've been doing my podcast. I've been putting it out into the world. I've been hosting masterclasses, right? I created a course. Do you think my nervous system was happy about that right away? No, of course not. It was scared, right? It was scared because it wants to keep us safe, right? As does the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is like, I want to keep you safe. So if anything huge is changing or shifting, or if there's any big things happening out there, or you're putting yourself out there more, or you're changing your routine or whatever, it's kind of like it's going to start to feel a little bit scary. It's risky because it's just trying to keep us comfortable and safe, which is, it's like, thank you. That's nice. But actually, I want to grow. I want to expand. So if I can create more of a regulated nervous system, even in the expansion, and ask my body, ask, does my body feel safe to change? Then I think, then for me, I can feel that I can shift my resonance. I can ask for more wealth. I can ask for more people to see me, right? Then it's okay. More eyes can see me. It's okay. They can hear my voice. My body's okay. You're safe, nervous system, right? So what are some of the ways that we can do that? For me, I definitely feel like it's got to be a bit of nature time. Everyone's different, but for me, like I don't necessarily get to do it every morning, but like some sort of movement or a morning walk out in, the sunlight, having that, first like earlier sunlight hitting me is really powerful for my body. I can feel in my mind, my brain, and the way it sets me up for the day. It's a powerful practice. Putting my feet on, actually genuinely put my feet on the earth to get that powerful earth energy moving into my body and to feel like that grounding Because often if we are living in the mind or we're living in fear and we're up here, right? We need some of that. We need to come back to the earth. And also just letting my body rest when it needs to, right? Which is easier said than done as a mother. I know that all the moms listening will understand. Like, I've got a 5-year-old and a 18-month-old, and it's, rest looks a bit different than obviously before motherhood, but still prioritizing some sort of rest, even if it's just me like resting while the kids are playing around me or something like that, or sitting out in the sun while they're playing in the garden. So these are just little practices, right? Little practices that I have. Some other women might want to do other things like journal, or maybe there's other movement that you like to do that helps you come back into feeling good in your body. Maybe it's a tea, a meditation can be really powerful. So these are just ways to, I believe, from my experience, create safety in the nervous system and the body, which gives that signal of like, it's safe to receive. We're safe. We can receive more. We can ask for more. We can actually live more abundantly, right? We can expand more when our nervous system feels that regulation. So I thought I would give a little bit more ideas around, like, I don't want to call them tools, but just maybe little things that I'm doing and I'm learning to incorporate recently in my life and my daily life. And as a woman, as a mother, to bring more alignment and to shift that, when I'm talking about that energetics being that frequency. And then the first one I know is going to sound a little bit overdone. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't introduce it that way, but I know that people will be like, oh, seriously. But not but, and it is powerful. It is powerful. What we say is powerful. So the first thing that I would offer is some affirmations. Affirmations that truly, you're using your actual emotional voice to speak them out loud to yourself. Or I heard a woman on a podcast the other day say it, and I think this is such a cool trick, and I'm going to do this for myself soon. I haven't done it yet. Is she said she wrote, like, there's heaps of affirmations tracks on Spotify, right? Or on YouTube. Like, you can just go out there and listen to someone while you're on your morning walk. But what she said, I think this is really powerful, is like, when they're your own affirmations that you've written, that you're calling into your life, or that you're reminding yourself of. And then she says she records them in her voice memos, and then she listens back to them in her own voice. And I was like, oh, that is such a cool trick. Like, I'm doing that. That just feels so powerful because it's my voice, my energy speaking it out into the universe, not listening to some others, which might be cool, but they're not my own. So I don't know, maybe have a play if you're into that. I think it's cool. So some of the ones that you could say is like, I'm safe to receive. That's one that I've been using. Like, my body, I'm safe to receive. And I'm open to abundance. I am open to abundance. I'm creating beauty and joy. I'm creating beauty and joy in my life. And what I love is something like, everything that I desire or dream of is already on its way to me. I love that one. Just the image of it. Because that's the other thing. I don't even think I included this in by like tools that I'm going to talk about today, but like feeling what you would feel if you were having it already, like feeling the emotions, feeling, making the sounds that you would make if, like, someone joined your course, or if you received $1,000 more in your account that you were asking for, like how you would feel. Like, can you start to embody that feeling, or just have it come through you? Like, picture yourself, visualize yourself with it in your account, or whatever it is, the relationship that you're calling in, the feeling of love that you would have for that person. Like, that's so powerful, because our minds don't know. Our subconscious mind doesn't know if it's reality or not. Think about that. So if you drop into the state of emotion, if you drop into the feelings that you want to feel, knowing, in your dream life, think about that shift inside of yourself. Subconscious doesn't know. like if it's really happening or not. Another one I love, which I've heard multiple people talk about, and I did learn from a beautiful woman and friend in one of her courses, is called evidence stacking. Some people call it like, you know, um, proof stacking or whatever. Like there's different ways, but let's speak to it as evidence stacking. So this is a really powerful way to kind of constantly be keeping track of the ways that you're already feeling the shift and you're seeing it. It's like actual evidence and proof that it's happening in front of you. Um, and one way to do this, I find is really helpful, is like just opening your notes in your phone and just have a note in there called evidence stacking or proof stacking. And it's all around basically everything that happens to you during the day, whatever it is that's like kind of showing the proof that, good things are coming to you. The universe is supporting you. You are on the right path. Things are flowing in. You write that down. It might be the littlest thing. Like, if someone comes to you and, if a friend comes over and they bring you your favorite food or your favorite coffee, that's evidence stacking that you're being like, that you're abundant and that someone's like supporting you and loving you. Like my mother-in-law, as I spoke to you or earlier in the episode, is that my mother-in-law took my daughter for the weekend, just for the night, but still it's like a couple days or a certain amount of hours where she's with her grandma. So she's safe, she's loved, she's having fun. And then it gives us, a bit of time, Craig and I, a bit of time. Now, granted, we still have my son with us and he's busy, but like it still gives us a little bit more of that spaciousness to like do things that we might not be able to usually do, or to be able to actually have a conversation in a way that we normally can't, right? Because usually our beautiful girl is talking the whole time. And we get those moments together. And I had time because he went and took them to grandma's. I had time to work yesterday. I got extra time to myself to do some things. So that's evidence stacking, right? That's support in shifting things and shifting my energy. It could be that, for whatever reason, you've been wanting to call in some more money. You've been asking for another grand a week or something. And all of a sudden, some money, maybe it's not the exact amount, but money lands in your account that you weren't expecting. That's evidence stacking. So it's like unexpected gifts, money, kind gestures, more time, small miracles. Stack the evidence, write it down, keep a list every day and look at it. Like, look at that evidence. Look at that. It's showing you're already lifting the vibration already, like in your life. It's already happening. It sounds so simple, like when I talk about it out loud, but I'm like, it actually is really powerful. I find it works for me when I see that written out. Okay, so that's one of the things that I've been doing, and that one I've been doing for a while. And something that feels pretty obvious to me, but this is what I didn't say to the woman in the course that had asked me about, like, she's wanting to shift from this place to this place. And one of the things I could have said to her was, I already said to her, you're doing it, because she's already starting to live by her design, which is one of the biggest things you can do to come back into alignment. 100% is like, it's like one of it's the map back is what I say, is what I feel. But the other thing is like surround your environment and what you're inputting into your here, your heart, your mind, your eyes, your brain. Like, what are you surrounding yourself with, right? Energetically, who are you surrounding yourself with? Who's around you? What's the environment? What are the inputs? This is huge. We take this for granted, but so what I mean is what you're surrounding yourself with uplifting you? Like, are the people around you, are the relationships and the friendships that you have, that you're investing your time in, do they lift you up? And do you leave feeling like I am higher up, right? Like I'm definitely vibrating at a higher frequency after hanging out with those people. Or is it the opposite? Do you leave and you feel like you are dragged down, you are heavy, you just put so much energy out into the world for those people, but you didn't get anything back, right? Did it suck your energy? Do you leave feeling more negative? Or like, is the conversation negative? Is it gossip? Is it drama? That none of that stuff helps our subconscious. In fact, from what I'm learning from this neuroscientist, it actually makes us dumber, to be honest. So that's huge. And so what I would say to this woman in my course, like, you are lifting yourself up because she's surrounding herself with this beautiful collective group of women that I'm supporting to live and mother by design. And that is such a higher vibration right there, than maybe what she's surrounded by, in her current environment with people around her. So she's already doing that. So what can we do? Like, if we feel like if our relationships and our friendships aren't giving that lift, I think, to me, that's a big sign that we need to shift something there. We need to ask the universe. I want to get into the room with people that help me to lift up. Like, let's surround ourselves with people that are already doing this kind of work. Let's surround ourselves with people that we're inspired by their lives, right? Like Craig and I, we try to the best we can. We try to be in the room with people who are, no, they don't have to be living the exact same way as us, but they are living in a way that's inspiring and true to themselves, authentic to themselves. Even things like music, in the morning you wake up, what do? If the first thing you do is go right onto your phone and social media, I don't know, it's a tricky one. I feel like everyone's different. And so there's no judgment, but it's like everybody's different. But again, our brains are it's so powerful, like what we are inputting in. And if we're sitting on social media and scrolling through what other people are doing, and especially if you get stuck in, like, who knows what's coming up in your feed, maybe it's not all high vibrational, because it's hard to find a feed that would be just high vibrational. We have to be super selective. Like, all of that affects your energy and how the rest of your day is going to go. So if we're immediately into this, like, trying to get this dopamine hit on social media, I think it's if that becomes a true habit, if it's not every day, that's something. But like, if it's every morning and that's what our morning routine is, I just feel like you're not setting yourself up for your energy to be like super vibrant, and for your mind and subconscious to be really like in a space where they can be rewired. We're training it to do something else. So even like podcasts, voices that match your desired frequency. So for me, like recently I've been finding, like, for me, I love music and I am like obsessed with music, and I like to change it up. I like electronic music. I've been having some 70s vibes coming through. But I also love podcasts. So I'm someone that, like, I feel really selective too about the kind of like sound, like, has to lift me up. So even if the electronic music, you're like, why are you listening to that? Like, it's actually like makes me feel like lifted and happy, and I want to dance, and my kids love it too when they hear the beat. So that's something that I love. But I also love podcasts from people who are speaking to things that light me up, speaking to things that make me want to change for the better, right? So those are the kinds of things I try to listen to. Nothing doomsday, nothing that's like we're focusing so heavily on the worst things that are happening in the world. Because while I'm not saying we need to turn our gaze away from things and like pretend like there's not stuff happening, but there's always going to be something bad happening in the world. There will always be negative things around us. But it's like where we choose to focus our energy is that's the choice. And how are we interacting in our daily life, in our little pocket of the world? The other thing that I'm just getting into now, I've already been into meditation, but hypnosis for like subconscious alignment and that realigning, rewiring. Hypnosis, and there's hypnosis apps and tracks. There's hypnosis tracks on YouTube, but I think just always watch, like, does the voice really resonate with you? What is the focus of the hypnosis track? Like, things like that. Making sure it's really in line with what you want to do, what your changes that you want to make. So that's something that I haven't gotten super deep into that. I know my husband has more experience in hypnosis from some of his past things that he's done in his life. So I'm planning to work with him on that. But I have actually in the past always been curious and wondered and wanted to kind of get into it more. So it's funny, it's coming back up again, I think, for a reason. So those are some other ways, that we can like level up the inputs that we're putting into us. You know, if we're watching the news, or if we're watching, like, again, social media, and we're just doom scrolling, like, that's not going to help us to get our frequency lifted and to call in that dream into our reality. Okay. And then this one, I've already spoken to it, but like, I'll just touch on it again. So just feeling, I thought I didn't have it in my list because I have a list that I'd made for myself that I'm looking at. But feeling now what you wish to attract, visualization, right? We've all heard probably that this is important and that it's big. And so let's try it. The subconscious mind the subconscious actually responds to our emotions. So we want to live in the vibration before it arrives, however that looks for you. I did hear somebody say the other day, that even like making the sound, which maybe I said this, sorry if I'm repeating, but making the sound that you'd make if something big happened to you, getting that dream opportunity, dream job, that date you want, that whatever it is, like, I don't know, whatever the thing is, but like making the sound that you would make, like, oh my God, and having that feeling inside of you as you visualize yourself in that state can be really powerful. So also, of course, for me, like when we talk about I'm talking about tools, but like for me, I'm going to always come back to the lens of human design. And so integrating your human design into your everyday life to me is like a no-brainer. It's like, that's like the simple compass, the simple map that you're going to use to help you to truly tune in and get into alignment. Hands down. Because it actually, just living by your design naturally calibrates resonance. It naturally does it. For me, it's like, we know there's 5 energy types. So once you learn your energy type and you learn how your energy is meant to flow in the world, how you're meant to move through the world, how you're meant to respond to things, what your strategy is, your authority, every time, every day, when you get the opportunity, which is going to be so many times a day, every time you actually follow your strategy and authority, you're moving from here, from like the fear mind, into the body and the wisdom of the body and the truth. And that's actually subconscious reprogramming in action. That's subconscious reprogramming in action. When you take your strategy and authority and you know your energy type, and you actually say, I'm going to apply, integrate, not just know my design in my mind, but I'm going to integrate it and apply it to my everyday life, making decisions with my family, with my kids, with everything that we have to do as mothers. And that truly reprograms the subconscious. And it gives you just this applicable tool to use at all times, because we're constantly being bombarded by, should I go here? Should I do this? Should I do this with my kids? Should they go here? You know what I mean? And so mothers are always, again, barometer of the house, to be able to come back to something so simple as your design. When I say simple, I know there's lots of complications to a body graph and to human design and all the things. There's lots of layers, I should say, not complications, but it can feel complicated. But if we look at the 3 big things, the energy type, the strategy, the authority, those are such big foundational pieces that you can take and use, learn, and then integrate it into your body, into your day, every day. And from my own experience, from my lived experience and experiment, as it's called, the human design experiment for a reason, I've seen so much shift in such a positive way, and that's been, I've known about it for 5 years. So, but I've also seen people shift it in months. And I do believe that when you really, really, because, when we talk about the quantum field, like, that's a whole other topic. Like, it is, but it isn't. Like, it all kind of works together, right? Because when our resonance is we kind of are like, it's like we're fine tuning. We're tuning up our aura. We're tuning it so that it's actually like zoom, zoom, instead of just like Sorry, this is how I work in my brain, but zoom. It's like this powerful pulse, I feel. And the universe kind of sees you, right? Lighting up. And that quantum field, all those things that you dream of, all the things, which, by the way, the dreams are already out there existing somewhere in the quantum, right? and you think it's like way over there, but it's here. It's right by you. Like it's right in the room with us. Those dreams that you have. And so when you get the resonance and you kind of tune it back up to what is true to you and your true design, and you take those old beliefs, those blocks, fear blocks, limiting beliefs, all of it, and you kind of like start to shift and rewire and change the subconscious mind while living your design, it can happen overnight. The dream can happen overnight. It can happen in days. It's just like, can we allow ourselves to believe that, to believe in it, and to take some of these actions? And so for me, like sometimes I get really scared about what I'm putting out in the world, or sometimes I get really scared to use my voice, even though I'm very aware and I'm not, again, not new to my design. And I know that in my design, my voice is one of the biggest things that I meant to use in the world. My stories are actually one of the ways that I meant to affect others, help others, support others, inspire others. So one example for me is that when I felt the Mothering by Design program come through, my 5-week program for mothers come through quite quickly, and it felt like such a big yes. Like it must have been sitting like next to me for a while, and finally I was like, woo, I was in resonance, and it was like now. It felt really scary but powerful. And I could feel like the fear mind, the one that wanted to keep me safe, right? The limiting beliefs. You don't know enough. Like you know, why would people listen to you? Like, who are you to put out a program? I don't know, all the things, all this, like I don't feel safe to be seen, like all the subconscious little blocks that are coming up. But I'll tell you something. I did it anyways because I could feel the stronger pulse inside of me was, this is for you, but this is for all the other mothers out there, because you know how powerful it is and how much your life and family has been transformed by human design and learning the designs of your children and yourself and your husband, all the things. And like, this is bigger than you. So get out of the way. Get your fear blocks out of the way and do it, woman. Like, that was my voice. It was like much louder than my fear mind. So I'm grateful for that. And now I can feel, after not very long time of like doing some, inner work around the subconscious and nervous system stuff and all the things. And like the confidence that I've been feeling about myself has really come through. And to the point where I'm like, oh, some people might even consider it a bit arrogant. Like even having this podcast, I'm like, this podcast is important. My voice is important. My wisdom, my lived experience is important. It's meant to be out in the world. Like that, I didn't feel that always. So I can feel my subconscious is shifting. And I do feel that it is a beautiful combination of me living my design to the best of my ability every day and living that experiment of human design and bringing that into my family life as a mother. And also me looking at some of what might be my subconscious limiting beliefs, my old stories that I'm holding in my subconscious mind, and really allowing myself to tap into that rewiring process, right? While I hold true to what my soul wanted to be here as a manifesting generator, a 5-1 profile, right? Someone that came here to distract the world from, my life purpose is all about distracting the world from what is not real and coming back to what is true and to joy. So I can feel the resonance of my life shifting. And there's definitely evidence out there now that's coming through into my world, and my dreams are starting to land much faster. So I thought we could do like a little closing sort of, I don't know, ceremony. What do you want to call it? Transmission. For anyone listening, if you're listening and you've come this far, I encourage you and I invite you to do this with me. So if you have a moment to close your eyes down and just let my voice kind of move through you, to pause, to breathe, and just to come into your body, into the remembrance of who you are, into your true resonance. So just take a breath in and out and just allow yourself to be fully in your body so you can feel, feel the breath moving in, the breath moving out. Allow yourself to feel that now. And I want you to say to yourself, it can be in your mind or out loud, I am safe to grow. I am safe to grow. And just let it really land inside of you. And then I want you to say, I am safe to receive. I am safe to receive. And really feel it. Feel the energy behind that affirmation. And now I want you to say in your mind, I am already in resonance with the life waiting for me. I am already in resonance with the life waiting for me. Breathe that one in. And then the last one, I trust my design. My resonance creates my reality. I trust my design. My resonance creates my reality. And once you've said these, you can obviously just stay quiet and calm and with your eyes closed if you have the space for that. And just let that kind of, vibrate through your body. Let those words move through you. Or when you are ready, you can, take a couple breaths and come back and open your eyes. And it's as simple as that, I think. Just bring some of those intentions. Can you bring a little bit more intention into your day? Can we bring more like devotion into ourselves? Devotion to yourself. Where's your energy flowing? If it's always flowing out to other people, or if it's always on doom scrolling, or it's like, where's the energy? Where's the devotion? Because that's where the energy is going. So bring it back to you, bring it back to your resonance so that you can, right, vibrate and let that frequency that you're vibrating at go bigger and louder and brighter. Because your dream life, like, you deserve it. You're worth every minute. You're worth all of it. Like, you do not need to prove that you're worthy of it. You are. You know you are. So allow yourself to start living by your design and allow yourself to start shifting in these little ways. And I do hope that if anything here has supported you, I really hope that, like, if any of these tools are supportive, just start taking them into your daily life as much as you can. Maybe even just start with one thing. You don't have to do them all. We're already busy mamas, but maybe just one or two things that really spoke to you, to make notes about it, write it in your journal. I'm going to do this every day. I'm going to say these words, right? I'm going to take time for myself. I'm going to regulate my nervous system and put my feet on the earth, whatever it is. Like, all of it matters. All of it shifts something inside of you. And that's what we want to do, is we want to have the inner landscape shift so that our outer world can realign and be that dream life, because it's there. It's there. So I hope that this episode, thank you for being here. I hope that it's been supportive for you in any way, inspired. If you'd like to join my masterclass, I dive into this even more. My masterclass, I'm doing 2 more from this Thursday and the next, and then I'm going to take a break for a bit. So yeah, I highly recommend. It's definitely really powerful what I offer. And if you're interested in my course, also reach out. My Mothering by Design course. Still accepting a few more mamas in there. And then I'm going to have some family visiting. So I'll have to stop doing some intake for then. But thank you for being here. Thanks for being in this space with me. Thank you for wanting to continue to grow as a woman, as a mother. You are amazing. You are powerful. You are beautiful. And you are resilient. And the fact that you're here listening today tells me that. So I can't wait to connect with you more. I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks again. Bye.